Welcome to Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. It's Game 4 of a 4-game series between the Red Sox and the Kansas City Royals. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo along with Steve Lyons. Welcome to Red Sox baseball. A lot has been made about the young Red Sox this year, and a guy who's turning it on here at the end of the season is our Chevy key player to watch, and Xander Bogaerts.
And I think it's so great to see this happen. I mean, I was one of those guys that publicly wondered whether or not he should go down and spend some time in AAA and maybe just clear his head, get away from the pressures of the Major League Baseball. But he hung in there, they hung in there with him, and he's turned the corner now. Look at the numbers over the last couple of weeks, hitting up around 350. He's showing flashes of power. He's playing good defense. And that's another thing, you know, out there at shortstop, he's been catching everything in sight and making all the plays. He's become a more well-rounded player all around at the end of this season.
Now the Red Sox trying to win the series today. They can with a win this afternoon in Game 4 of the series. And on the mound today for Boston is Joe Kelly. He's 1-2 with a 3.95 earned run average in a Red Sox uniform. He'll be making his 8th start. And we come back to KC right after this. By Southwest Airlines, Dunkin' Donuts, Toyota's website for deals via Toyota.com, Sullivan Tire and Auto Repair, Subaru Dealers of New England, and by New York Life and their agent of the game. Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri, as the Red Sox and Kansas City Royals wrap up their 4-game series here today. Royals taking the field along with some kids here this afternoon. It's turned out to be kind of a cloudy, overcast day here to begin the ball game between the Red Sox and Kansas City. As the Royals and Tigers battle for the AL Central here, let's take a closer look at the remaining schedules for both the Tigers and the Royals. Royals beginning the day a half game back of the Tigers, and look at their schedules. This closer look is brought to you by FW Web. For an even closer look, visit fwweb.com. Here it is. Kansas City trailed by half a game. Of course, they get the White Sox, the Tigers, the Cleveland Indians, and the White Sox again. While the Tigers have Minnesota, Kansas City, Chicago, and Minnesota. So
now both teams in there playing a lot of the same ball clubs down the stretch. I think it's just fun for both of those clubs to be in this type of a race. Red Sox fans certainly know what that's all about. They're not going to get to taste that this season, but just makes it really exciting for both of those cities and the teams.
Kansas City dropping the first 2 games of this series, of course, against the Red Sox before coming back to win last night. Some kids joining the Kansas City Royals on the field here as part of the national anthem that is about to take place here in Kansas City. And, of course, today marks the 200th anniversary of our national anthem. So we're going to cover it live here from Kansas City this afternoon. And the Red Sox, after the ball game, will be heading to Pittsburgh to begin their series against the Pirates. An off day tomorrow, and then 3 against the Pirates, and they still have the 3 games remaining against the Baltimore Orioles at the end of this 3-city tour for the Red Sox. Color guard now taking the field here in Kansas City, and we'll send it down to field level now.
It's presented today by the Clinton High School Junior ROTC.
Stadium, as the Royals have taken the field here partially this afternoon, and we'll see Jason Vargas on the mound. Color guard making their way off the field. Let's send it down to Gary Streisky.
Well, guys, of course, the Red Sox wrapping up their 4-game set with the Kansas City Royals, but they have a lot to celebrate about last night. The Pawtucket Red Sox wrapping up a Governor's Cup championship against the Durham Bulls, the affiliate that they had to beat in a 5-game series. And it's kind of crazy because a lot of the players that started the season down in Pawtucket are actually playing with the Red Sox. Either way, they're taking home a crown, as John Farrell explains on our Geico quote of the day.
Regardless of the level, I think when you're the last team standing, there's significance to it. And in just some message exchange with Ballsy last night, there was clear excitement on his part. And to walk away after a long season, a lot of work done, congratulations to them.
So they spoiled Tampa Bay's affiliates' chance for a back-to-back title now. 5 of those players from the Pawtucket championship team will join the Red Sox when they begin their series against the Pirates on Tuesday.
All right, Gary, thanks very much. Well, the Royals have now indeed taken the field, so let's check out the visiting Boston Red Sox starting 9. Mookie Betts leads it off. He's at second base with Xander Bogaerts at shortstop batting second. David Ortiz, the DH, in the 3 spot. Yoenis Cespedes in left field. Alan Craig is at first base. Daniel Knob in right field bats 6th. Will Middlebrooks at third base batting out of the 7th spot, with David Ross doing the catching today. And Jackie Bradley Jr. in center field bats 9th. Today's Royals starting pitcher presented by your New England Nissan dealers. Jason Vargas getting the start today for KC. 28th start of the year. He's 11-8 with a 3.25 earned run average. He's logged 174 1/3 innings, 118 strikeouts, and opponents hitting at 263 against Vargas. Did take the loss last time out against the Tigers in that big series. 5 1/3, giving up 4 runs in that outing against Detroit.
Defensively for the Royals hasn't changed a whole lot in this series. Moustakas, Escobar, Infante, and Hosmer over at first base. Gordon, Dyson in center field again for the second straight game, and Kane in right. And there's your battery. Perez behind the plate again, and Vargas doing the pitching. You know, Kansas City is not in a position where they can throw out that Sunday lineup. You got to keep going with your horses.
And Mookie Betts leading it off here in the top half of the first inning. The first pitch of the ball game is in there for strike one, and we're underway. Mookie Betts starting today hitting at .283. 4 homers and 12 runs batted in. 4 for 13 so far in the series. And leading off for the Red Sox now on a daily basis and playing second base on a daily basis. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Vargas is one of those guys that can just lull you to sleep. He's got a slow heartbeat out there. Nothing really affects him. He's not very excitable. He probably won't break 90 all day long. He's got a good changeup and excellent command.
Gets Betts off balance there. Strikes out for the first out. Umpiring crew today, Philden Culbreth has got the plate calling the balls and strikes. He's the crew chief with Brian Knight at first base. Manny Gonzalez at second. Jim Reynolds at third base. And the conditions today in Kansas City, a little warmer today, 70 degrees. Breeze out to left at 6 miles per hour in the forecast for some sunshine. Right now, mostly cloudy above the ballpark. And it's strike one to Xander Bogaerts. Bogaerts at .236, 11 homers, 37 runs batted in. Almost hit him. How he got out of the way of that.
That's one of the things about Vargas, not afraid to throw inside. And if you're a guy who doesn't throw hard, you better get in someone's kitchen every once in a while. And then, you know, generally he'll throw that pitch, and he'll do what he did to Mookie Betts, throwing back-to-back changeups down and away.
Vargas has not faced the Red Sox in a long time, September 3rd of 2012. In fact, he's made 50 starts in between appearances against Boston, and that was when he was a member of the Seattle Mariners. He's with the Mariners for 4 seasons. Best year of his career spent with the Seattle Mariners was 14-11 in 2012 with a 3.85 earned run average. His last year with the M's. Into left center field, Alex Gordon battling some sun out there will make the catch for the second out. A lot of glare apparently. 2 down. School is back in session, but specially priced Red Sox tickets for students are still available for every Sox game. Tickets start at just $9, so go to redsox.com/student to take advantage of this great offer today.
Kind of like the way Alex Gordon just got off to the side of that ball so that he could look at it while looking away from the sun.
2 down for Big Papi. 265, 32 homers. RBI shy of the century mark for him. I'll take a pitch low and away.
And take a look at this again. You know, obviously now he's looking into the left field stands almost, but he's trying to get a better angle on the baseball so that he doesn't have to look directly into the sun. And as you mentioned, it's kind of an overcast day, but there's still some brightness that he has to look straight into.
3-time Gold Glove Award winner Alex Gordon out there.
Pretty amazing transition when you think about how good an outfielder he is. And he came up as a third baseman and never really played the outfield before.
Tees launches it foul off to the left. He's down 1-2. Shifting on the right side against David Ortiz. Leave the third baseman Moustakas on the left side of the infield. Vargas signing a 4-year deal with Kansas City in November of 2013. Runs through 2017. The 1 year between Seattle and coming here to Kansas City spent with the Angels. 9-8 with the Angels. Florida and New York in the National League before arriving in Seattle. Swing and a miss. Strikes out David Ortiz. An impressive first inning. Red Sox down in order. Royals coming up. Up. And let's check out the Kansas City starting 9 today. Alcides Escobar, the shortstop, leading it off with Norioki, the DH, been hitting well in this series. Lorenzo Cain in right field bats third. Alex Gordon in left field in the cleanup spot with the very good catching Salvador Perez. Eric Hosmer at first base with Omar Infante at second base. Mike Moustakas at third, bats eighth. And Gerard Dyson at center field, bats ninth. Today's Red Sox starting pitcher presented by your New England Audi dealers. Joe Kelly, his combined numbers between St. Louis and Boston. His 15th appearance of the year, 3-4 with a 4.14 earned run average. Opponents hitting at .250 against him. With the Red Sox, he's making his 8th start of the year, 1-2, and last time out a loss against Baltimore in 6 1/3, 4 runs, 3 of them were earned. Alcides Escobar leading it off here in the bottom of the first inning. 276, 2 homers and 46 runs batted in. He is 3 for 11 in the series against Boston.
Change in the lineup for Ned Yost in yesterday's ball game worked out well for him, so he ran it right back out there today.
This is only the 3rd time all year Escobar has led off.
They got to win.
A couple of hits in last night's game as he takes a strike. 2 hits last night in the leadoff spot. Orioles led off the first 2 games of the series. A couple of hits again last night. He's had a very good series.
David Ross behind the plate is no slouch as a catch and throw guy. But you got to figure if there are base runners today, they will be testing Ross. This is a team that loves to run. We haven't seen a lot of that so far in this series.
And again, you got both Lorenzo Cain and Gerard Dyson in the lineup today. Up the middle, Bogarts to his left, and he'll throw to first in time.
Well, some nice defense right there. Let's check out the rest of the defense presented by Southwest Airlines. Middlebrooks, Bogarts making the play right there. Mookie Betts at second base, and Alan Craig holding down the first base bag. In the outfield, Cespedes, JBJ, and Daniel Nava out there in right field. As we talked about, David Ross is the catcher today. Joe Kelly will be pitching. Kelly can rush it up there 95 miles an hour and higher at times. Good run to his fastball. There it is right there. Sometimes I think he's got more of a running fastball than it is a sinker.
Sometimes he has trouble controlling it and runs into some walk trouble. There's a ground ball to short. A little easier play here for Bogaerts, and there are 2 outs in the inning. Well, fans, you can test your Red Sox IQ right now with the MLB Preplay mobile app. Download for free and start predicting every at-bat of every Red Sox game all year. Today, Preplay predicts Joe Kelly will go 6 1/3 innings, allow 3 earned runs, 5 hits, 3 walks, and strike out 6. I want to ask you about Bogaerts over the course of the year. Do you feel like his range has increased and getting a little better going to his left?
You know, I don't know that it's. Range is a tough thing to work on. Range is a hard thing to get better at. I mean, he's 21 and he's a great athlete. I don't know that his range will ever get any better. I just think his hands are getting better. He's becoming more sure-handed. And you don't miss anything. And you notice that the first play was a way tougher play, not only because he had to go farther, but that was a tough hop at the end of it to make that play. An easy play to mess up. He made that one, and the second one was, Sunday. But, yeah, I like his actions at short a lot better than I did earlier in the season.
He handles the first 2 here in the first inning, 2 assists, and Lorenzo Cain now bats. Off balance swing right there.
Even in this series, I've talked a lot about defenders and whether they should go back on the ball or charge the ball. You're reading a hop to pick up. That first play that Bogaerts had, he had to go so far to his left, he didn't really get the opportunity to read a hop to pick. He had to just grab the one that got to him, and it was a tough one.
This gets to Middlebrooks, and he'll throw across the diamond in time. A 1-2-3-3 ground ball out inning for Joe Kelly. Leading it off is Yoenis Cespedes, Alan Craig, then Daniel Nava. The bat here in the second inning. Jason Vargas on 14 pitches. Tied the side in order. Ball came out onto the field in right center, so Gerard Dyson over to handle that as Vargas waits for him to return to his spot in center field. Vargas had 2 strikeouts in the first inning.
Vargas is one of those guys where if he doesn't have his great command, he's going to get rocked. Doesn't throw hard enough to throw the ball by you. He's got a nice little changeup, but if your differential between your fastball and changeup isn't that great, there are days you're going to have when you get crushed. But what I like about him is he works quickly. He kind of pitches with his guts. He's like, here we go. This is all I've got. If you can hit it, go ahead.
We're talking about his best year in Seattle, 2010. And this year's earned run average even better so far on the season through his first 27 starts of the year. Two pitch. That'll bounce in. 1-2. Now Cespedes 2 for 11 so far in the series. He bats now with Alan Craig waiting on deck. Swing and a miss. Off balance cut that time. And he's keeping everybody off balance so far. 3 strikeouts for Vargas as we send it down to Gary.
Guys, the news high on TC with today's poll question is baseball season winds down. We want to know which is your favorite season. Sox 1 for spring, Sox 2 summer, Sox 3 fall, Sox 4 winter. Text your answer to 536-536. Message and data rates, those may apply. Text help if you need it. Visit NESN.com/terms for all that fun legal stuff, guys.
I'm a fall guy. I always like October baseball, especially.
Really?
Yeah, I really like the fall. The crisp air, foliage. I like all that.
Yeah. I'm not along. Believe me, I love October baseball, especially if your team's still playing it. I don't like to be cold. I'm a little baby when it comes to that. So summer would be my favorite season.
To right field towards the corner. Kane onto the warning track to make the catch on that one. Alan Craig, who had a base hit here last night, drives one to deep right field, but he is out number 2 here in the second inning. You said last night that that type of swing, the one that goes to the opposite field, is something that is pretty good for Craig when he's going good.
Yeah, he has opposite field power, and he's kind of a spray hitter. He has decent power to hit the ball out of the ballpark, but his biggest advantage is that he's a good hitter. He hits over 300 mostly, and that's how he drives in his runs, not necessarily by hitting 30 homers. He's like a 15 to 20 home run guy. You can drive in a lot of runs with doubles if you continually get hits. He's just really struggled since he's been over here, and I have to think it has a lot to do with his foot. He won't say that. You're not healthy, it's hard to play well.
Daniel Nava in the lineup today, playing in right field. And a swing and a miss has him down 0-2.
Gets the ball and goes right after you. That's just pretty much a straight 4-seam fastball, and Daniel just swung through it. Not going to see very many 4-seam fastballs from Vargas.
Just get a piece of that. Kind of waved at it.
And here's the changeup again. Now, every Red Sox hitter ought to know by now, after seeing the first 6 guys go to the plate, that when he gets ahead of you, he's going to go to that changeup down and away. It shouldn't be a surprise to anybody anymore.
Struck out Betts, Ortiz, and Cespedes. Now ahead of Nava, 0-2. Flared to right center field. Kane coming in full bore to make the running catch. That ends the top of the second through an inning and a half. No score from KC.
Second inning, guys, we know that pitchers specifically very superstitious, and they each have their own way of preparing for games, and Joe Kelly's is a very studious approach. I actually noticed a couple starts ago when we were in New York that Joe Kelly actually takes like a 4x12 note card, and he tells me he goes back like 3 to 4 games for every batter he's going to face in the lineup that day and examine every single one of his at-bats, and he really literally jots notes down, and it's scribble. It's like he's got Dr. Chicken Scratch, and he scribbles this thing on a piece of paper, keeps it in his pocket, puts it in his locker. He says he glances at it right before he makes his start, takes it out with him into the dugout, and references it between the games. I asked him, of course, if I could use the one he used today against the Royals, and he said, listen, if I can get the win today, I'll let you use it for my next start. So add an incentive today for Joe Kelly to get the win. But yeah, it's crazy, this note card. There's no room for any more words. He squeezes so much detail into it about every single one of the batters.
For years, we saw that with Kurt Schilling, who kept a notebook on everybody and would often go back and update it in the dugout. This one is to right, and right in front of Nava. Alex Gordon has got himself a base hit to begin the second inning.
Alex Gordon starting to come alive a little bit when we got here. He was in the middle of about an 0 for 30 or a 1 for 30. He's starting to stroke it again pretty good. Notebook on me was always pretty easy. Throw it up there, he'll get himself out.
He'll figure out a way to get himself out.
Yeah, get at that.
A lead runner on here for Kansas City in the second inning, Salvador Perez.
Don't walk him or hit him.
This is into center field. Back-to-back base hits here put together by Kansas City. Pretty aggressive here against Joe Kelly in the second inning.
Wow, that's the kind of the MO of this ball club. They go up hacking. Wasting no time. Good looking swing. Nice balance from Perez right there, using the middle of the field.
First and second, nobody out. Eric Hosmer, the batter. Hosmer at 265, 7 homers and 50 runs batted in. 0 for 4 in last night's game as they play him to pull. Outside 2-0. 1 for 12 in the series. One part though, a home run, 2-run shot for Hosmer. Had a tough time at home this year, hitting at just 204 here at Kauffman Stadium compared to 323 on the road.
That's not right.
Fly ball to center field. Jackie Bradley Jr. going back onto the track. At the wall, it's gone. 3-run home run for Eric Hosmer, his second home run of the series. And Kansas City takes a 3-0 lead.
Well, Don, you don't see Jackie Bradley Jr. make very many mistakes in center field. I don't think he would have been able to catch this ball anyway, but he didn't know where the wall was. He ran straight into the center field wall before he got a chance to jump. He doesn't take a peek back like he normally was, and then bumped right into the wall. Didn't even know it was back there. And we've seen JBJ jump before, too, and maybe he would have been able to catch that.
That is listed at 411 feet. It is 410 to center field.
It scraped the paint off of the back of the fence when it went out.
Hosmer.
They all count.
Hosmer with his 8th home run of the year, and Kansas City out to the 3-0 advantage. Omar Infante will take a pitch for a ball, 1-1.
What do you think, Don? If JBJ judged that differently and got back and made a good leap, would he have had a chance?
He might have had a shot, no doubt. He can jump too, as you mentioned. He can get up there.
Just surprising to see him not look back and find the wall, and then that wall surprised him. It got on him quicker than he thought. You can see him just going back, and then he hits the wall before he can think about jumping up. Never did really get a jump off.
Close pitch, could have been a strike. Kelly wanted it, and it's called a ball, full count.
Hosmer's hit 2 home runs now, both of them, one in the very front row. Ooh. If you're hitting, you don't want that to be called a strike. Remember Hosmer's first home run, it was right down the line into the front row. This one dead center and just over the wall.
Chopped up over the mound. Bogart's coming from short, is not going to have a play. Base hit for Omar Infante. 4 straight hits now for the Royals.
Infante got such a great jump out of the box. Watch him go. Gone already. As soon as he lets go of that bat, he's up down the line. It's a base hit all the way. I'm not even sure if Bogarts would have been able to throw him out if he fielded this cleanly. Look at that. He's smelling a base hit.
So 1 on, nobody out, and Mike Moustakas the batter. .210 with 15 homers and 51 runs batted in. 3 for 10 so far in the series. And running away, 1-1. Moustakas off the glove of Craig at first into right field. Heading for third base is Infante. Throw going there. It'll be late. And it's first and third with nobody out. 5 straight hits now for Kansas City.
Just amazing how quickly the complexion of a game can change. Kind of a backdoor breaking ball right there, and he was all over it.
Well, tonight, catch up with Charlie Moore. Charlie visits Idaho to take part in fly fishing on the Snake River with his son and hits 2 world-famous locations for great trout fishing. Idaho is normally a quiet state, but things certainly change as the Mad Fisherman rolls into town. Tonight at 7 p.m. Now the pitching line for Joe Kelly. Inning plus so far, 5 hits, 3 runs. He hasn't walked anybody, hasn't struck anybody out. Started well, had a 1-2-3 first inning, but has given up 5 straight hits, including a 3-run home run here in the second inning. Gerard Dyson. All of a sudden, this team has the look of a team that is in a chase for the top spot in their division, unlike the first 2 games.
Yeah, they didn't look good the first 2 nights in here, that's for sure. Putting on a push.
Right side, ranging is Betts. He'll have 1 play. It's at first, and a run will score. In from third comes Infante. Kansas City on top 4-0. Dyson picks up the RBI and the ground out to the right side. Joe Kelly trying to minimize the damage now. With Alcides Escobar coming up. Second time through now for Kansas City. Escobar grounding out to shortstop in the first inning. On the ground to short again. Bogarts to first. 2 outs in the inning as Moustakas moves over to third base. But today's suits are designed by Joseph Abood, custom made in the USA from fine Italian fabrics. Now available at Men's Warehouse.
You look good in your Joseph Abood, too, I'll tell you.
Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah. You look a little bit like Paul Sorvino.
Moustakas at third base with 2 down. He's saying that I'm morphing into Paul Sorvino.
Yeah. People tell you all the time who you look like.
I thought Alec Baldwin, but apparently not. I'm morphing into Paul Sorvino.
I see Alec Baldwin there if you squint my eyes,
yeah.
And if it's really dark.
The 1-0 is chopped towards second base. Betts will go to first, and that will end the inning. A 4-run inning for the Royals, who take a 4-0 lead through 2. Is from the parking lot where the TV trucks are here at Kauffman Stadium for baseball games. But, of course, right next door to Kauffman Stadium is Arrowhead Stadium, as there is Kauffman Stadium there in the background. And they share the same parking lot, so a good thing that Chiefs are not home today.
Looked like was that a porta potty right there in between the
I
two
believe
trucks?
it is, yes.
Thing,
2
man?
of them. There's Arrowhead right next door.
That's another compelling view. You're stealth, too. You're quick. I've been with you most of the day. I didn't see you run out there and do that.
You're not with me all the time.
Oh,
I get away from time to time.
It was fast. Right out to the parking lot today.
Quick shot right back in again. One-two pitch is inside. Swing and a miss. Middlebrook strikes out. 4 strikeouts for Vargas. He's got it going on today.
Yeah, you wonder what kind of pitch that was?
Yes, they are not learning, is what you're saying.
They're not learning. And it's generally not a strike either. It's a good one. No question. It's a good changeup, but he hasn't really thrown one of those for a strike, and he has a bunch of strikeouts with it.
One down for David Ross. Hitting at 188, 6 homers and 14 runs batted in. First start of the series. We've seen Christian Vasquez in all the games so far. That's for the big cut and a miss. Not a lot of playing time lately for David Ross. He was just 0 for 3 on the entire homestand and his first at bat of this series.
I think he understands that, you know, the future is here with Christian Vasquez, and then, you know, Danny Butler getting a start or two, getting the chance to get in there and play, aka Yukon Cornelius.
Have you talked to him about that yet?
Told me his phone blew up.
Oh, okay.
With all his friends calling him and saying, "Hey, you're supposed to look like this guy." He goes, "You're right, I do." There he is.
Yukon Cornelius.
Bumbles bounce. Hey, you know, we started calling him Yukon Cornelius. He was like 0 for 12 lifetime. And then he got 3 hits in a row as Yukon. So I think he enjoys it.
And one account here to David Ross.
You hear some of that conversation?
I heard a conversation. Didn't hear exactly what they were talking about.
That was David Ross. I didn't catch all of it, but I think he said, "Look, I can't afford to have the strike zone that big. I'm hitting a $188." Wasn't happy with the strike call, and he's like, "Look, man, I'm not up here hitting 320. I need the strike zone to be exactly what it is and no more. I need an opportunity up here to swing my bat."
It takes the walk. First base runner of the day for Boston, and here's Jackie Bradley Jr. Bradley at 207, the home run, 30 runs batted in. 0 for 11 in the series against Kansas City.
Back half of the batting order for the Red Sox today. Some struggling averages with Craig at 109, Middlebrooks at a $188, David Ross at 188, and Jackie Bradley at 207.
Bouncing in for ball 1, 1 and 2. There are the averages you speak of. Greg just getting up over 100 with a base hit here last night. One, two, line down the right field line, but hooking foul. As we all know, a happy staff equals a productive staff. No better way to show your employees a good time than treating them to a night at Fenway Park. Go to redsox.com/groups to book your company outing now.
That's why you bring your glove to a ball game. Look at this guy. Down the line, he's thinking, I got it. The old Sweeney uniform on. All his buddies are impressed. He's the only guy there with a glove. His girlfriend's texting everybody in the world now. I just think it's a really cool thing to do. When you think about it, I'm going to go to the game
with my glove.
I'm taking my glove. What are you bringing your glove for? You never know. Might catch a foul ball. You're not catching a foul ball. It's ridiculous to think you're catching a foul ball.
Now he does.
Yep.
He's laughing at him now. Bradley strikes out. 5th strikeout for Vargas. 2 down here in the 3rd inning.
Let's see this pitch. This was something off speed too, but I think this might have been a breaking ball. Yep. Not the changeup. Something down and out of the zone again. He have 5 strikeouts now. Not one of those 5 strikeouts have come on a pitch that would have been called a strike.
2 down here in the 3rd inning. Mookie Betts, the batter, struck out swinging in the 1st inning. Vargas with strikeouts of Betts, Ortiz, Cespedes, Middlebrooks, and more recently Jackie Bradley Jr. And there for a strike, 1-1.
Vargas staying down in the strike zone. That might not have been a strike.
Vargas, born in Apple Valley, California, resides in Goodyear, Arizona. 31 years of age.
I believe Goodyear is where the spring training facility for the Royals is located.
For strike two, 2-2.
Wow. He's just living down there on the kneecaps, and Mookie's saying, those are hard pitches to hit.
Perez does a really nice job, though.
And you keep calling him a strike, yeah.
This one is to right center field. It's going to fall in for a base hit. And David Ross up to second base on the single to right field. That's the first hit of the day for Boston.
Yeah.
Tuesday, in an all-new Red Sox report, chronicled the career of the greatest living Red Sox, Carl Yastrzemski. From the fields on Long Island to the halls of Cooperstown, Yaz's life is relived in part 2 of a special Red Sox report. It's Tuesday, and it's at 5 o'clock.
That was a really nice at-bat by Mookie Betts right there. Saw a bunch of pitches down in the strike zone, pitches he didn't want to swing at. A couple of them got called strikes. And he finally got one a little bit up in the zone, and he didn't miss it.
Gertz with a swing and a miss for strike one. To left field. Struck pretty well. Alex Gordon going back onto the track at the wall. It's gone. 3-run home run for Xander Bogaerts, and the Red Sox right back in it again. Bogaerts with his 12th home run of the year, and the Red Sox getting all this done with 2 outs in the inning.
How about that? We talked about it in the open of the show, too, how Xander has turned a corner. Look at the weight balance that he has. Look, you could draw a line right through his head, down past his back leg. This one jumps up out of the park in left field. Remember when he was lunging so badly, that's why he was having so much trouble.
Foul ground, Moustakas racing over, and he will not make the catch. Went up over the railing to make a bid. And pretty hard into that railing. Just toppled over.
Well, this is another case of him misjudging where he thought the ball was going to come down, and then he put a last-ditch effort of a burst of speed and then didn't realize where that railing was. Jeez. Now with that shift on, he had a long way to go to get over there, too.
Ground foul outside of first. Alltown, New England's premier convenience retailer, is committed to supporting the communities they serve. For every home run the Red Sox hit the rest of the season, Alltown will donate $500 to Boston Children's Hospital. Visit alltown.com for an Alltown location near you. Ortiz with a swing and a miss strikes out to end the third inning, but a 3-run home run for Xander Bogaerts. It's 4-3 now. Kansas City on top. Red Sox right back in it again. lead over the Red Sox. Xander Bogaerts with a 3-run home run to bring the Red Sox back from a 4-run deficit.
Watch the balance in Bogaerts' swing. So nice. Just went through a really bad stretch where he started lunging, getting out, breaking down over the top of his swing. Pitchers were working him hard away. He was just trying to go out and try to reach that pitch, and really got into some bad habits.
Lorenzo Cain fouling it off down the first base line. He grounded out to third base in the first inning, 0 for 1. Only giving up 4 runs in the second inning on a total of 5 hits in the inning. But he's able to get Lorenzo Cain to begin things here in the third inning. First strikeout for Joe Kelly.
Good slider down and away out of the zone. You see those replays and you're like, how do you swing at that?
It was never a strike.
Yeah. Looked good out of his hands.
Alex Gordon singled to right field first time up. Got it started in the second inning. His base hit. Royals would string together 5 straight hits. That's moving out onto the outfield grass on the right side. Strike call on that inside corner, and Gordon didn't like it. He spins out of the box.
He is the go-to guy in this organization. Kind of get the feeling when they have some of the younger players come up and they're around, they just say, go follow him around. That's how you learn how to be a good player. Does everything fundamentally sound. It's in great shape.
On the ground to shortstop, Bogaerts plays the hop and throws out Gordon. 2 down here in the third inning. Attention Red Sox Nation, there's a reason why the Boston Red Sox and the rest of America run on Dunkin', because our coffee is consistently smooth and delicious. Dunkin' Donuts coffee is the #1 coffee in New England, so if you want the best coffee in town, there's only one choice, Dunkin' Donuts. Boston Red Sox run on Dunkin'. 2 down here in the third inning. Kelly trying to have a good bounce back inning here. Salvador Perez the batter. Out towards right center field. On the move is Nava, and he'll get there to make the catch that ends the third inning. Through 3, 4-3, Kansas City on top. strong. That's why they've been named the #1 SBA lender in Massachusetts 5 years in a row. Eastern Bank, here, your first. Now back here in Kansas City. And all the way from Maine to see the Red Sox win. Welcome to Kansas City. He's got a couple different signs apparently. He's got that one and he's got this one. It's kind of interchangeable. You just replace that top right corner and you're good to go.
Does he have one of those for every guy that comes up?
Cespedes pops it up right side of the infield. We got to keep an eye on him. Hosmer a little stagger, but he makes the catch.
Now that sign didn't work for Cespedes, is he switching out now?
No, he's back to me. I'm still there.
Oh, this is homework.
I'm still there, but I'm about to be replaced by Alan Craig.
Oh, he doesn't even have to use tape. He's got a little. He's got a slit in the paper and then some paper clips. Just fits right in there.
This was well thought out. She holds the paper and
she rotates everything so they stay right in the right order.
I like how I'm in between there. I'm always there, though. In between. One out for Alan Craig. He flied out to the warning track in right field in the second inning. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2.
Is it a good feeling to know that you're not interchangeable? You're permanently on the sign.
Being covered up though, constantly, because there's going to be a lot of guys that bat in this game.
A lot of the same guys. 9 of them.
I'm somewhere underneath there. She's ready with Daniel Nava next. 2-2 pitch is popped up. Shallow right field. Kane makes his way in and over towards the line. And he'll make the catch. 2 down in the inning. 2 fly ball outs.
And
ready for Nava. Okay, Craig is out. I am still there.
There you are.
And now I'm gone.
Yep.
Time for Daniel Nava. Our friends from Maine. How long do you think they can do this? The whole day?
Oh. Keeps them busy.
Two down. Nava fly to right field in the second inning.
We've heard of people that come to the game and they keep score.
Right.
Something that, I talk to people. My father taught me how to keep score when I was a kid, and I just keep doing it. I have tons and tons and tons of scorecards at home. This is something quite different than keeping score.
That's keeping score.
There you go.
And listening on the radio at the same time. Nava hits a fly ball to right field. 3 fly ball outs here in the inning as the Red Sox go in order. Trail 4-3. The change is about to happen. I'm still there. Bottom of the fourth inning back in Kansas City. Royals have a 4-3 lead as they come to bat. And the music's still playing here as the pitch came in. Don't see that too often.
Jeez.
Umpire trying to get him to shut the music off. Fouled it off. 0-1 the count.
Someone was asleep at the switch up there, huh?
I don't understand. Well, actually, we'll take a look at some home runs first. Here's Eric Hosmer's from Friday night. First home run.
Right in the front row there, and then today. It's a long way to hit it, though. 410 to center field. There's a lot of ballparks that are 410, but this ballpark just plays awfully big. Always has. Ball doesn't jump out of here.
Reminds me of Seattle a little bit.
Yeah, or San Diego or San Francisco even. Some places that the ball, can crush it. You got to get it all to get it out. Day games are a little bit better.
What I was going to say before was, you have music going on during basketball.
Yeah.
Music going on during hockey, the organ, whatever. Why can baseball not be interrupted?
Well, it's not as bad as golf.
Yeah, where everybody has to be quiet.
Whisper.
Yeah. But I mean, you saw that was a big deal right there. The music was on, and it was a big deal.
Yeah. Well, it might have something to do with a level of concentration when someone's throwing this really hard object at you, 95 miles an hour. Maybe you should be paying attention and not
listening to music,
not being distracted and dancing in the box, because there's a good tune playing.
Payoff pitch here to Hosmer. And he'll take ball 4 down to first base. First walk given up by Joe Kelly of the day. Now, did you know that Fenway Park hosts more than just Red Sox games, sporting events, and concerts? Fenway Park has a variety of unique spaces to host your next holiday party, meeting, or special family event. Visit redsox.com/events or call 617-226-6791 to book your Fenway Park event today. I think I'm still on there right now, but we're blocked.
Oh, that guy's going to be very upset that someone actually came in to use their tickets.
Swing and a miss for Infante. Infante with an infield hit in the second inning. Came around to score the 4th run for Kansas City, and that's the difference in the game right now. Taken off at first base and a ground ball to short. Bogart says no play at second. So he goes to first. Hosmer was on the move there. Start him in motion. Stay out of a double play.
Bogarts did a good job of adjusting. You try to hold your position as long as you can. But you see him. He's got to be on the move to get there. But he does a good job of continuing to pay attention to the pitch and being able to adjust to go back and get that ground ball.
Hosmer at second base, one down. Mike Moustakas single to right field in the second inning, 1 for 1. And now Ross headed out here to talk to Kelly as he falls behind with the first pitch. Ace Ticket, the official Red Sox ticket partner, has the best seats at the lowest prices to all the games at Fenway. All the 200% guarantee. Right now, Ace Ticket has special savings on all Red Sox games. Treat yourself or someone special. Visit Ace Ticket or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. 2-1 is outside. 3-1.
Now, the first game of this series, you had mentioned how this organization over the last 5 seasons has gotten a little bit better each year, now fighting for a playoff spot. Two of the smartest things they did, the signing of Infante for some veteran leadership, and then they picked up Raul Ibanez, too. Doesn't play that much. But such an excellent influence on the locker room and some of the younger players and just what it means to be in a pennant race. There is Raul right there. And look at his career numbers. Boy, he had some great seasons.
And some surprising seasons recently. They're kind of rekindling his career at times.
Well, you know, going to Philly didn't hurt him. Well, that's a great place to hit.
Yeah.
And he had played so long in Seattle, then went back to Seattle, and as you had just talked about, that's a tough park to put some big numbers in. Then you go to Philly, it's a great place to hit.
29 home runs last year.
Yeah.
I want to say this is his 3rd or 4th stint here in Kansas City. Does that sound right? Well, his 2nd. I'm thinking of Seattle then, where he's been several times.
At least twice in Seattle.
3 times.
3 times in Seattle. Yep. Can't catch up with me.
Stuff's happening fast. You were 4 times?
4 times with Red Sox. I was like a bad penny.
Not go away.
Couldn't get.
And you're back.
Me.
Look at this. Leonard's 2nd goes and a pop-up. Alan Craig stepping into foul ground. He'll make the catch as Hosmer back to the bag at 2nd, 2 down. From technologies that make your life easier to people who care about your community, Eastern Bank is committed to putting you first. Learn all the ways Eastern puts you first at easternbank.com. A great area for kids beyond the left field fence here and on the concourse area at Kauffman Stadium. Chance to run the bases, take some swings. Gerard Dyson, the batter, grounded out to 2nd base in the 2nd inning. His ground out in the 2nd produced a run. His 24th RBI of the year. That's out of the number 9 spot for KC. Hosmer walked to begin the inning. He's at 2nd base with now 2 down. We're looking at Kansas City's upcoming schedule. They have 15 games remaining this year. That includes a completion of a suspended game. And that is on September the 22nd. The Royals are actually trailing in that game in the 10th inning, 4-2.
Uh-oh.
That looks like that could be an L. That's hanging over your head if you're Ned Yost.
Where do they have to go to play it?
That I'm not sure of.
So they have to go back to Cleveland to play that too.
But they're playing it in Cleveland. Series in Cleveland.
Oh, okay. So they're already there. All right. Well, that's better than if you don't have any more games with Cleveland, but you still have to finish that game. That's ugly. Oh, you got to go back to Seattle
for one
and play that one inning where you've already got beat.
Half an inning.
Thank you.
Came here just to get the L. Two to Dyson. Fouled off to the left out of play. Tune in tonight at 10 p.m. to NESN Sports Today, presented by People's United Bank. Jameson and L will have complete coverage and highlights of the Patriots-Vikings game and sounds of the week. See what know-how can do. Two-two pitch to Gerard Dyson.
I think one of the fans in the upper deck made a play on the foul ball, but dropped his hot dog, and a guy from the lower deck caught it.
Dyson strikes out. That's the 2nd strikeout for Kelly through 4. 4-3 KC. Up here for the Red Sox to begin things here in the 5th inning. Middlebrooks, Ross, and Bradley Jr. as we start the top of the 5th inning in Kansas City.
Middlebrooks' his name's so long they have to go with the small print. Even on his back, it goes from armpit to armpit, you know.
Struck out in the 3rd inning. 0 for 1 in the game. Total of 6 strikeouts for Jason Vargas.
Look at that thing.
Wraps around.
It's almost a circle around his number.
Remember Salty's jersey go all the way down to his back.
Yeah.
Like a horseshoe.
It's about as close as you get right there with Middlebrooks, too.
It's got 12. 0-2 pitch. He's going to miss outside. 1-2. Yeah, 12. He's too short of Saltalamacchia. Salty had 2 more letters.
Jeez. They should have just put Salty on his back.
A little bit inside. Middlebrooks fouls it back to the screen. We'll do it again. 2-2.
See, that was a pretty good job of fouling that pitch off. That was a decent pitch to hit, but now everyone's aware of that changeup late in counts, and that was a fastball, and maybe it snuck past him a little bit, but he didn't swing through it.
Got a piece of that.
This guy's been tough. To me, these guys like Vargas are a lot of fun to watch pitch because they don't have the God-given ability to just rear back and throw it by you. That's easy. This guy has to pitch. He has to hit his spots. He has to trick you. He's got to get some good movement.
Swing and a miss. Able to strike out Middlebrooks. Second time he's done that.
Got to throw that changeup. This has been such a typical pitch for him. Changeup, not a strike. Out of the zone. He's got guys chasing.
One down in the 5th inning. David Ross walked and scored in the 3rd inning. Ready for some Sox culture?
Sure.
How do you feel about warm desserts?
I'm
not a fan.
No?
No. Ice cream.
How about a little bit of like a heated up piece of warm pecan pie with a scoop of ice cream on it?
Nope.
How about chocolate lava cake?
Nope.
Granny Smith's apple pie?
Nope.
Baked Alaska?
Yes. 0-2 is a foul tip, stays alive, hit the ground.
Bazookies.
I don't know what that is.
That's when they make a cookie, but they really don't make it all the way. It's just gooey and half cooked.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. It's like a chocolate chip bazooki. A lot of no's on that checklist for you.
You found out a lot in the last 3 days. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. How come there's never,
Sox culture
Sox
for us?
culture
That's
for
a
you?
Great question.
No, just for you. I think I think Rossi just an excellent answer. Favorite food, warm desserts, not steak or
Lobster would be number 1 for me.
Yeah, what's your favorite food?
Lobster.
Really?
Yeah, straight up.
Man.
2-2 is popped up.
Favorite movie?
For love of the game.
You cannot be serious.
No, I'm not. Godfather 1.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Favorite band?
Dave Matthews Band.
Really?
Yeah, number 1. Not even close.
Finding out
There's
a lot
Dave,
of bad
and then
stuff
there's
about you.
Everything else, as far as I'm concerned.
Worst concert ever, isn't it?
No.
Boring
I've been
as
to
can be.
20 concerts I've been to.
Boring as can possibly be.
How many have you been to?
0.
Well, that's how do you know?
I've talked to people who have gone. They're just like, it's a terrible show.
Come on.
I like the music, but goodness.
2-2. It's low. Full count.
Where would you vacation?
I'd like to go to Hawaii again. I haven't been there since I was a teenager. I'd like to go back there again.
It's nice.
Yeah. Waikiki.
No Maui for you?
Swing and a miss. Ross strikes out. 8 strikeouts now for Vargas. Back-to-back case here in the 5th. 2 down. So here we go. Finally. Everything but the Bora Bora. I've been waiting all year for this. This is game number 150. Somebody finally asked.
Wow.
You asked.
Bora Bora.
There it is.
What happened there?
I don't know. 75th pitch coming up for Vargas.
Someone in the truck had to type quickly, and
Yes,
they just
and they
assumed that you were going to go to
Threw it
Bora
in there
Bora.
before you get to the vacation part.
Waikiki, he says.
Yes. And then for a strike to Bradley. He struck out swinging in the 3rd. Already 8 strikeouts for Jason Vargas. He's now retired the last 6 Red Sox in a row. Down the left field line, making its way foul. Catch a special David Ortiz themed episode of Nesson Clubhouse. We learn how to hit opposite field, how to get strong like David Ortiz. Plus, we learn how to be a bullpen cop at Fenway. Don't miss Nesson Clubhouse live and commercial free following Red Sox final. 1-2 pitch. Ground ball up the middle to the backhand is Infante. And he throws out Bradley Jr. to end the inning. Halfway through this one, it's 4-3 Kansas City.
Back, of course, just recently being diagnosed with that concussion. It's going to happen before the end of the season with just 13 games left. We have to backtrack to September 5th. That was the game, the first game back from that long road trip against the Toronto Blue Jays that Brock Holt realized, you know what, I think something's wrong. He can recollect grounding out there in his first at-bat, getting to first base and telling Arnie Baylor something's just not right. He was saying it was particularly humid that day in Boston, so he maybe thought that was what was kind of playing with him, but he was really woozy. He said he couldn't pick up the ball, so he told Arnie, you know, I think something's just not right. Arnie then proceeded to tell the medical staff. That's when they had to take him out of the game, and of course the next step led to the next thing. A couple days ago, just diagnosed with that concussion, of course, like we've already mentioned. He's here with the team. Hopefully we'll see him back before the season ends.
All right, Gary, thanks very much. As a grounder softly to Bogaerts, his throw is in time to retire Escobar at first base. Some Sox culture for Steve Lyons' favorite movie, The Sting. I thought it'd be the one you were in. No?
No, that's yours.
Favorite food, chocolate.
Absolutely.
That surprised me, too. I thought ice cream would be number one.
Chocolate ice cream's good.
Elton John and the Cayman Islands.
Sure.
Wow.
You ever been?
No, I never have.
Very nice.
So there we go.
I figured that's where you hid all your money.
Pitch is outside for ball one.
Huh?
The Sting. Who was in that?
Robert Redford.
Paul Newman?
Paul Newman?
Yeah.
Yeah, great movie.
Okay.
It's old school movie.
Yeah.
Fugitive. Love that. Forrest Gump. But
Fugitive was Harrison Ford. He was a doctor.
Yes.
Tommy Lee Jones chasing after him.
Yes. Shawshank.
Pops up down the left field line. That's going to fall foul. I really did like For Love of the Game, by the way. It was a very good movie, I thought.
You did?
Yes. I like Kevin Costner a lot, though. That's why.
I think it was one of those movies where if you really thought it was going to be a great movie, you were disappointed. But if you had no expectations going in, it was like, it's kind of a cute movie.
You were teamed up with Vin Scully.
I was the last person to ever work with Vin Scully.
This one is fouled off down the right field line. Of course, Vin works alone.
Indeed.
Every day.
Except for in that movie.
In that movie, he worked with you.
Yeah. Not so sure he was happy about that.
Now, when we had Kevin Costner on a couple of years ago, he said a lot of that was done at like 4 o'clock in the morning. Yankee Stadium. You guys weren't doing your stuff then, right?
No, what they did is they had filmed most of the baseball stuff, and then they put it on TV in front of us and let us call the action.
So you're just doing it like you're doing a regular game?
Pretty much.
Wow.
We had to know the character names, and we had to know sort of the underlying situations between characters so that you could emphasize it a little bit. Other than that, they said call the game.
Interesting.
That was fun. Yeah.
How many days did it take to do the filming?
A day and a half.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, pretty quick. In and out?
Except for the second day, I was late. Power went out at my house. I was supposed to be there at 8 o'clock. I woke up at 8 o'clock. So I was holding up $1 million a day production. Thank you very much.
I'm sure Vin was pleased with that. Was he waiting in his
I'm sure he
trailer?
Was.
Yeah.
Yes. All made up and everything.
Ready to go, waiting for you to show up.
Yeah.
Power went out, huh? That's
how did
your
you
story?
do yours?
You're sticking it to? How did I do mine?
Yeah, you had like 17 guys helping you do yours.
Yeah, which movie are you talking about?
Well, how about Fever Pitch?
Fever Pitch. That one. Yeah.
Oh, which one? That's right. Yep, there are multiples.
This is going to miss inside. Fever Pitch, myself, Harold Reynolds, and Tim McCarver did in Toronto. We were there 3 days. We only filmed 1 day, and they put us in a booth that was supposed to be Fenway Park's booth. And they had rebuilt it was a studio. So we were separate from what was going on. We were there a couple hours, actually, when we started filming. It's just short. Bogaerts will make the catch on the liner for the second out here of the fifth.
They rebuilt the Yankee Stadium booth, I mean, to a T.
Really?
Like cigarette burns in the formica of the thing, from old school, staples on the outside of the wall. And then when they shot us so close you couldn't see any of it anyway. So it was really kind of overkill, but that's the movies, I guess.
Renzo Kane takes strike one. Speaking of Vin Scully, there's a picture of
who's that with him?
Somebody with Vin Scully when he was 19 years old.
It's a good-looking guy right there.
Of boss and thin.
It's a little bit like Alec Baldwin.
Now I've kind of morphed into Paul
Sorvino.
How that happened, I don't know. There's Vin.
Vin looks exactly the same.
Yes, he does. He's aged very well. 0-2 pitch on the ground to shortstop. Bogaerts able to make the throw in time to get Lorenzo Cain. A 1-2-3 fifth inning. It's 4-3 Kansas City. Maintenance player specializing in all your cleaning and wellness needs. WB Mason also provides a full selection of 3M safety products that can't be struck out. Whatever, whenever, wherever. Who but WB Mason? It's on to the top of the 6th inning. Kansas City on top of Boston 4-3. And back on the mound is Jason Vargas. Dealing with the top of the Red Sox order. Mookie Betts, Xander Bogaerts, and David Ortiz. Pitching line for Vargas so far, 5 innings. Just gave up the 3-run home run to Xander Bogaerts in the third, 8 strikeouts. 1-0 is going to miss, and it's 2-0.
He's pitched better than the 3 runs he's given up, too. I mean, X-Man got him there on the pitch that was up in the zone, and he hit him out of the park. But other than that, man, he has kept everybody off balance with that changeup. Sinking down and away from the righties.
Pitching line brought to you by your Eastern Lexus dealers. The 2-1 pitch. And Betts will take strike 2.
Of everything on that list I thought you'd have the biggest problem with Elton John.
I didn't have an issue with Elton John. I'm not a huge fan, but you are. It's good for you. I didn't rip his live shows like you did mine.
His live show is pretty good.
This is by Escobar diving to his left, and Mookie Betts. That's his 2nd hit of the day.
I got to think Escobar didn't see that ball off the bat. Terrible jump. I don't know if we have a good shot. Now it's coming right at Escobar right here. Watch Escobar. I mean, like a stutter step, didn't really move, and then tried to dive for it.
Lead runner on here for the Red Sox for the first time today. Bogaerts with a 3-run home run back in the 3rd inning.
To me, in this ball game, Mookie Betts has shown tremendous plate discipline. Understands what he wants to be swinging at, once again in that at bat. He saw 3 pitches that weren't above his kneecap. Finally got one up in the zone a little bit and hit it. 2 hits that way. He's only seen 2 pitches above his knee, hit both of them and got base hits. I think if you ask me what the hardest thing about hitting is swinging at the right pitches. I had terrible plate discipline. I swung at everything, so I wasn't a good hitter. It's hard to learn how to hit the right pitches.
It's one for Bogaerts, his 12th home run of the year with 2 men on here, back in the 3rd inning. The Red Sox right back in it again. They were trailing 4-0.
That was the right pitch to hit.
Big lead per usual for Betts at first base. Maybe bigger than usual. And a pitch in there. Or strike evens the count at 2-2.
Would you think he might throw a changeup right here?
I would.
I mean, his changeup has been so good today, you can almost say, hey, here it comes.
Line to left, and that's going to be in for a base hit. Betts up to second base on the single by Bogaerts, his 2nd hit of the day.
How about the 2 21-year-old kids? Went with another fastball. It stayed up. Bogaerts hit it.
So base hit for Betts, a base hit for Bogaerts. Action for the first time for Kansas City. Right-hander is up. Aaron Crow beginning to warm.
What a turnaround for Xander Bogaerts. Such a good kid. I mean, everybody just wanted good things for him, and he went through that period. I mean, he went through a period where he was like 6 for 95 at one point, where it was just like every night, just 0 for 4, 0 for 4, 0 for 4. Figured it out, a lot of hard work.
You were talking about it as part of our open, that at one point during the season you thought that perhaps him going back to AAA may help.
I did. I thought he was just buried. And a lot of people say, oh, if you send him back to AAA, you break his spirit. If you break a guy's spirit, then I don't want that guy on my team. And you're not breaking his spirit. He showed up every day even-keeled. You know it was eating him up inside, but he never showed it.
In the air, down the left field line. Alex Gordon heading over towards the corner, battling the sun, and he'll make the catch in front of the wall. Betts tags and tries to go to third, and he will be safe there. And tagging up and going to second base was Bogaerts. Nice catch by Gordon for the first out of the inning.
Well, that's such a nice play by everybody. A great catch by Gordon. He's battling the sun. He knows the wall's right there. And then Betts, knowing that that's going to be a difficult play down in the corner and hard to gather yourself, he tags up. Bogaerts tags up. Everybody moves up. Really nice.
Well, don't miss Red Sox Game Day Live, presented by DCU, Digital Federal Credit Union, Tuesday at 6:30. TC and Jim Rice will continue the top 30 Red Sox moments on NESN's Countdown. Number 13, DCU, Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you?
Now, getting back to your question, my point with Xander was just give him a break. Just get him out of the spotlight for 2 weeks. Send him down for 2 weeks. Let him figure it out. Get him right back up here and start over.
And Yost going out to the mound so far has not made a move.
He's guys planning their Sunday night dinner?
Now he's going to make the move. Or did he? He did.
Yeah, didn't he call for the righty?
He did. 4-3. Kansas City has the lead. The pitching change here from Kansas City. Crow coming in. As with one out here in the 6th inning. Runners at second and third for Boston, and Yoenis Cespedes the batter against Crow. And a pitch low and away for ball one. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by your local New England Ford dealers. Crow coming in here for his 64th appearance of the year, 6-1 with a 3.86 earned run average. 31 strikeouts, 22 walks. Opponents hitting at .239 against Crow. Bounce in for ball two, 2-0.
Second time we've seen him in this series.
Tying run at third base and Mookie Betts. Go ahead run and Xander Bogaerts at second with one out.
Again, in this series, we haven't seen Cespedes do that much unless there's an opportunity to drive a run in.
Vargas does a nice job. He departs responsible, though, for the runners at second and third.
I certainly let Cespedes swing right here if he likes to pitch.
All to strike. 3-1. Ran into some trouble in his first outing against the Red Sox. Walked two batters in the 8th inning on Thursday. Charged with a couple of runs on a double by Weeks. Swing and a miss. Pitch in the same spot. Full count. Alan Craig waiting on deck. Interested bystander there right now, and Vargas responsible for the two men on.
Come on. Get somebody out here. tack those Ernies onto my ERA. After, as you said, he pitched a really nice game. He might come out not looking so good.
There's ball 4, and Cespedes down to first base. So again, Crow, who walked 2 when he came in last time, walks the first batter that he faces here today.
Crowd wanted this one to be called strike 3. Cespedes on the 3-2 count. Yeah, ball's inside.
Bases loaded, 1 down, and Alan Craig, the batter, 0 for 2. He's flied out to the warning track in right field in the 2nd inning, and then flied out to right in the 4th inning. That'll bounce in.
Whoa. That's a nice stop right there by Perez. Bases drunk. A lot of guys can come in and score if that ball bounces away from you. The hardest pitch to block for a catcher is a fastball, because you expect a fastball to be a good pitch. You don't expect it to be in the dirt. You call a slider, you call a changeup, you call anything else, you're expecting that ball to be in the dirt.
Count is 2-0. Perez going out to talk to Crow. Here's action in the pen. Right-hander Lewis Coleman up in the pen. Bases filled with Red Sox here with 1 out in the 6th inning. Alan Craig trying to put the Red Sox on top.
Cespedes will get a huge jump at first base in order to try to break up any kind of double play ball down there.
There's a strike, 2-1. The numbers against Crow in his career: 4 for 7 with 3 RBIs.
We talk so much about infielders and thinking about the play before it happens. Your decisions here are whether or not to try to go home to first to get a double play, or to turn one over.
Two and two as Crow battles back. Daniel Nava on deck, 1 out in the inning.
Kind of try to run through every scenario in your head before it happens, but you don't know what you're going to do until the ball gets hit. And you decide what you're going to do depending on what kind of ball gets hit to you.
A little bit low, full count.
Now, if you're like Moustakas at third base, if the ball's kind of a chopper in front of you, you'll probably come home. If it's hit to his right, he'll probably step on third and go to first. If it's hit to his left, he'll probably go traditional second to first. If it's a hot smash at him, he'll probably go home to first. A lot of different things, all depending on what kind of ball he gets hit.
Swing and a miss. Craig strikes out. It's a big out for Crow. 2 down.
Crow dug himself a hole with 2 quick balls and then came back to strike out Craig. Nasty pitch.
Make Insurance, great service, great coverage, and a great price for auto, home, or life insurance. Two down, bases loaded now for Daniel Nava. Nava in the air to deep right field. Kane going back at the wall. It is gone into the bullpen. A grand slam for Daniel Nava. Second career grand slam for him, and the Red Sox take a 7-4 lead with 1 swing of the bat.
Vargas thought he was going to get off the hook there, and now those 2 Ernies charged to him and 2 more to Crow. Red Sox have done an amazing job today on hitting the hittable pitches. Every pitch to Alan Craig was on his kneecaps, struck him out. First pitch to Daniel Nava, up in the zone and just hammered it. This is a good pitch to hit. Thigh high to a left-hander, forget about it. That's his happy house.
Now Will Middlebrooks taking his strikes, even the count at 1-1. Nava had been 0 for 2, but he hits a grand slam, and the Red Sox take a 7-4 lead. Middlebrooks to center field, but Gerard Dyson will move back and make the catch. It ends the inning, but the damage has been done. Red Sox on a grand slam take a 7-4 lead. Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. In the Plaza area in Kansas City as we return here to Kansas City, Missouri. 7-4. Red Sox now have the lead thanks to the grand slam by Daniel Nava. And Alex Gordon leading it off here for Kansas City. Big blast for Nava. Second home run of the day for Boston.
Saw Daniel in the elevator coming to the ballpark this morning, and he told me yesterday it was the first meal he had for a while after being sick. Maybe got some strength back. Remember, he looked green one of those days.
Battling
2 days ago.
Food poisoning.
Yeah. Feels better now.
There for strike 2, 2-2. 6 in a row retired by Joe Kelly. Complexion of this one has changed for Kelly now. The one bad inning, the second inning, but otherwise has pitched well today.
That's kind of been his MO. He usually has one bad inning.
Gordon strikes out for the first out of the 6th inning. It's the 3rd strikeout for Kelly.
Take a good look at that pitch, as we talked about before, kind of his running fastball. It's not a sinker. Throw it down the middle, watch it run away.
He's now retired 7 in a row and 13 of the last 14 batters that he's faced in the game. There's Salvador Perez. Perez with a single to center field in the second inning and a run scored. He flied out to right in the third. David Ross yelling, "Look out." Somebody yelled, "Look out."
Yep.
From home plate area.
Ross.
Is that common?
It's being helpful. By the time your brain actually registers that someone said anything to you, you already got hit.
Fouled off, and it's 1-2. Well, the most popular way to follow the September pennant races is with MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, replay reviews, scores, live radio broadcasts, the MLB.tv game of the day, and more. Get at Bat for your smartphone or tablet on the App Store or visit MLB.com. Salvador Perez does it count even here at 2-2.
Oh.
On the ground to third base, a jam job there, and Middlebrooks throws out Perez, 2 down. Don't miss Red Sox first pitch presented by Men's Warehouse, proudly introducing Joseph Aboud. TC and Jim Rice will break down the Pirates playoff chances in the NL Central and wildcard races. That's Tuesday at 6 p.m. on NESN. Two down here in the 6th. Eric Hosmer, the batter.
Oh.
Hosmer went around, according to third base umpire Jim Reynolds. The Red Sox heading to Pittsburgh after the ball game today and get ready to take on the Pirates, who are currently 3.5 games back of the Cardinals in the National League Central. Brewers hanging around 5 games back. Run out of time, though. Like 14, 15 games left for most teams.
How do the Cardinals keep winning?
They keep doing it.
It's unbelievable. Pitching.
Pittsburgh right now has a wild card spot along with the Giants if the season were to end today.
Giants took a thumping last night.
I saw you tweeting about that last night.
People were telling me what was going on. I couldn't even keep up with the number of runs they were scoring. Every time I tweeted something out, someone would. No, they scored 2 more. Like 24 hits. Ridiculous. That's a big series. You can say what you want about the schedule as Hosmer walks there. And I thought the Red Sox had a brutal schedule this year. Just some of the trips they had to take, some of the long flights, some of the, getting in late. It's hard to play that way. Everyone has a little bit of that. But I love the way the schedule makers make games at the end of the season supposed to be meaning something. You're playing within your division. You're playing against the other teams that are right up there. So that's what makes, obviously, September such great baseball.
Juan Nieves out to the mound. Tommy Lane warming in the pen. Joe Kelly has had a string of 8 in a row, broken up by a walk by Hosmer with 2 down here in the 6th inning. The Bruins begin their 2nd season of Behind the B tomorrow night at 8. Go inside the player meetings after the team's disappointing second-round playoff exit. Plus, hometown visits are documented. Don't miss all that and more on the season premiere of Behind the B tomorrow night at 8. Hosmer coming up. First base will gain his lead. Infante standing in. Fonte singled in the second inning, grounded to short in the fourth. And at the lip of the grass at third is Middlebrooks with 2 down in the inning.
Gary told us a lot about Joe Kelly when this game started. He's got kind of a crazy sense of humor, too. Ways back, he told someone that he was a distant relative of Machine Gun Kelly. He was completely joking. And people ran with the story.
Probably ended up in every media guide since.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, that's really didn't happen. It's not true.
2 down, Hosmer at first base, and Fonte waiting on a 1-2 pitch. Chopped off the plate foul. Now the Red Sox trailed in this game 4-0 until Xander Bogaerts hit a 3-run home run in the third inning to get him back within a run. And then in the top half of this, the 6th inning, a grand slam for Daniel Nava puts the Red Sox on top 7-4. 7 unanswered runs so far for Boston. The starter Joe Kelly is hung in there today into the 6th inning with 2 outs. Tired 14 of the last 16 batters. Fly ball headed to right field. Daniel Nava now in the sun. Makes the catch. It ends the inning. Joe Kelly through 6. 7-4 Boston. Tweet your photo to hashtag NESSNFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in our broadcast, brought to you by AT&T. Today's fan photo is from Susie P., who says, heading to Kauffman, cheering loud from section 109. Here at Kauffman Stadium, Red Sox Nation. Red Sox with a chance to win the series on top 7-4. Taking 2 of the first 3 games of the series. David Ross leading it off here in the 7th inning. The pitcher on for Kansas City was Coleman into the game. 26th appearance, 1-0 with a 6.33 earned run average. Sitting at 309 against Lewis Coleman. Second appearance of the series. He had a 1-2-3 sixth inning on Thursday night. Well, it appears to be the day for Joe Kelly. 6 innings, 99 pitches for Kelly, and departing with a chance to grab a win. He's 1-2 in a Red Sox uniform.
Just a rough second inning, and then the rest of the game was really good. Showed great command today. But that's kind of been the way it's been working for him. He'll have that one rough inning that kind of gets him in trouble, but he outlived it in this game. Sox offense picked him up.
Full count to David Ross. He has walked and struck out today. Third plate appearance for the Red Sox catcher. Jackie Bradley Jr. then Mookie Betts anticipated here in the top half of the 7th inning. Ross will walk again. Second time he's been able to draw a walk today. Let's take a look at today's list, brought to you by Benjamin Moore. Highest batting averages since 1940. There's Ted Williams at 406. Tony Gwynn, strike short season of 1994, hitting at 394. George Brett, 390. Ted Williams, 388. Rod Carew, 1977, 388. I don't know if George is here today. George Brett was here last night at the ball game.
He was. Boy, what a player he was.
Bradley takes ball 1 from Coleman. Jackie today has struck out swinging and grounded out to second base, 0 for 2. Left center field, falling fast, and that's going to fall in for a base hit. Mason picks it up. First 2 Red Sox have reached here in the 7th inning. Now, for every Red Sox game that goes into extra innings or the Sox get a save, CVS Pharmacy will make a donation to Boston Children's Hospital towards a $25,000 donation once again this season. CVS Pharmacy is the official pharmacy of the Boston Red Sox. Double-barreled action. Jason Frazier and Scott Downs both warming in the pen, both veterans. There's Dave Island, the pitching coach, out there to talk it over on the mound.
This is a game that got off to a great start for the Royals, and then things just took a turn for the worse. We were talking about it earlier in the game, how they did not look good in the first 2 games of this series. Kind of turned it around yesterday and looked really good to begin this one, and then whoops.
Yeah, they had a 4-0 lead in this game. Offensively, things were going well. Jason Vargas was pitching very well. And now he's technically on the hook, the starter for the Royals today. 5 1/3, 4 hits, 5 runs, walked the batter, struck out 8. Mookie Betts will take strike 1. He's had a 2-hit day today. Back to the first and second hitters for the Red Sox. Betts and Bogaerts collectively 4 for 6 on the day. 2 hits for Betts, 2 hits for Bogaerts.
I think it's been a little different story with Mookie Betts. His meteoric rise to the big leagues at 21 years old, well documented through the minor leagues, 2 different stops, and now here doing an excellent job. And then Xander Bogaerts, who had a lot of hoopla around him because of his playoff run last year, and a lot was expected of him, but they're both only 21. Xander too. I mean, you're talking about kids. In almost any walk of life, if everyone looks back on their life when they were 21, they were nowhere close to what they wanted to be professionally. These guys have already reached the pinnacle. I think I was in AA when I was 21. These guys making an impact on a team that won the World Series last year.
Ross at second, Bradley Jr. at first. Betts waiting on a 2-2 pitch. Fouled off. It really does work across his body, huh?
Yeah. It's kind of hard on your arm, but it also creates a ton of deception because he's turned away from you so long. It's really tough for the hitter, especially a right-handed hitter, to pick up his release point.
Up the middle and to the backhand for Infante to second for one, on to first. Not going to be in time. Too much speed. Mookie Betts. They do get Bradley at second base for the first out of the inning.
That's too bad, too. Any other situation, that ball's a base hit up the middle. But because the Royals are playing in double play depth, a little more shallow and way more up the middle was Infante to make that play. Good hustle down the line.
First and third now, one down. Xander Bogaerts has had a good day. Line out to left in the first. Hit a 3-run home run in the third before he singled in the 6th inning. Now he laces this one foul over the head of David Ross down there standing in foul ground. The pinch hitter coming out on deck here, Christian Vasquez, going to pinch hit for David Ortiz. Swing and a miss, snap throw to first. No chance to get Betts, who gets back to the bag. Bogaerts down 0-2. They're pinch hitting for David Ortiz. I wonder if that foot is a problem again.
I think it's something that bothers him all the time, and it's whether the degree of what he can handle on that day. Good time for Mookie Betts to steal a base.
Ross at third, Betts at first, one down. Fly ball center field. Gerard Dyson going back to make the catch, tagging at third, and coming home is David Ross with the 8th Red Sox run of the day. Boston taking an 8-4 lead. Xander Bogaerts with his 4th RBI of the day and the sac fly. Time for a Toyota game break, and Tom Caron, TC. All right, Tom, thanks very much. Back here at Kauffman Stadium. It's bad news for the Royals, who trail here by 4 runs. Red Sox tack on another one here in the top of the 7th inning. Roll over to check on Betts, who dives back to the bag. Christian Vasquez pinch hitting here for David Ortiz. Our friend, the sign guy here, was ready for Vasquez to pinch hit.
Yeah, he's not just checking in with the starters. He's got it all. Sign guy.
Foul tip in. It's 0-2.
Sign guy should have checked in on a dictionary, though. I only got a quick look at that sign, but he may have misspelled Vasquez's name on the sign.
All I care about is he got my name right. That's a good sized lead is always at first base. 0-2 the count to Vasquez. Pinch hitting for Ortiz. And Vasquez strikes out to end the inning. Red Sox out a run. 7th inning stretch. It's 8-4 Boston. Except for 1 inning.
Yeah, you got to be really happy with this outing, and the Red Sox offense picked him up, scored some runs for him, but he had everything working today. That great tailing fastball, he mixed in the breaking ball very, very well. It's a nice day.
Well, the game summary brought to you by Xfinity. Red Sox have an 8-4 lead. The line for Kelly today: 6 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs. As he ends up striking out 3 at one point, had retired 8 in a row and 14 out of 15. Daniel Nava with a grand slam, his 2nd of the year and 4th home run of the season. Xander Bogaerts hit a 3-run home run. Jason Vargas is on the hook right now for Kansas City. Started well, but went 5 1/3, giving up 5 of the 8 runs the Red Sox have.
Now, if you're in a situation where you retire 14 out of 15 hitters that you face, you give your offense an opportunity to get yourself back in the game. Even if when you're going into that period, like he did, he's getting beat in that ball game. He rattles off that many outs, giving your guys a chance to get back in there and score some runs for you and get you back on top.
Well, Tommy Lane taking over into his 25th appearance of the year, 1.04 earned run average. Well, it's hitting at 186 against Lane. Mike Moustakas will lead it off against Lane here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Rossi telling everybody to move. Tommy Lane racked up 25 appearances pretty quickly, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Comes in for that one guy.
Badenhop out in the pen. He was warming up alongside Lane.
Tommy Lane's one of those guys that we used to call a long armor. It looks like he never bends his elbow when he throws. It just kind of comes from just like a stiff arm, like an Iron Mike guy, but from the side.
Ball 4. He walks the first batter that he faces here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Well, stay tuned today following WB Mason Extra Innings Live, a Red Sox final presented by Assurance. Send your questions to TC at hashtag Sox Final. Maybe yours will be answered on Red Sox Final presented by Assurance. Conference here at the mound as Ross will make his way back behind the plate. Coming up is Gerard Dyson. 0 for 2. He's grounded out to second base and struck out swinging. And on the grass at third is Middlebrooks. Lane last worked on Friday here in Kansas City. Came in to face Moustakas and struck him out. But walks Moustakas here in the 7th inning today in the finale of the series.
Gets the luxury of back-to-back left-handed hitters. That's why he's still in there.
Picks up the corner, 1-1.
Now the Royals wear blue shoes, but Dyson kind of looks like he's wearing white shoes. Not a lot of blue on there. See Dyson's shoes hitting. Escobar's on deck. What contrast there.
Strike 2. Dyson 0 for 2 is grounded out to second base and struck out swinging from his number 9 spot in the order.
You like the white shoes of the Oakland A's?
No.
No?
This is back to the mound. Lane to second for 1, on to first for 2. Nicely done. That walk is erased on a double play. 2 down here in the inning.
Hey, Tommy Lane just keeps coming in and getting it done somehow. Comes in, strikes you out. If he happens to walk the first guy, he gets you to bounce into a quick double play. Did everything perfectly right there. And thank you for doing your job.
John Farrell making his way out here. He's got Burke Badenhop ready to go in the pen. Alcides Escobar coming up for the Kansas City Royals. We will step aside. It is 8-4, Boston on top of Kansas City. of Green Mountain Coffee K-Cup packs will keep you running and guarantees to satisfy any fan base. Order by 11:30 a.m. and get free same-day delivery. Hoob at WB Mason. Bert Badenhop into the game here with the Red Sox on top 8-4 with 2 outs in the 7th inning. 66th appearance, 0-3 with a 2.41 earned run average, 37 Ks to 19 walks. And opponents hitting at 270 against him. He worked on Friday night here in Kansas City. The final 2 outs on 5 pitches. In the 7th inning, has appeared in 65 games this year, 1 game shy of his career high 66, and now has equaled that. Did that 2012 with Tampa Bay.
Badenhop walks about 5 miles during his appearance because after every time he lets go of a pitch, he walks halfway to home to come in and catch it and then walk back out there again.
It's a nervous energy.
Yeah. And he does it almost every time. Watch if they don't hit this ball. Hey, look, here he comes in, even from the umpire. Comes walking all the way in, gets it, walks all the way back out there.
Counterclockwise around the mound.
Is he in Australia?
Now he's in the midst of a meeting with himself.
Oh, there you go. Party of one.
1-2 pitch. Is softly grounded towards Middlebrooks at third base on the run, and in time to retire Escobar to end the 7th inning. We head for the 8th. Red Sox lead at 8-4. Contributes to Boston is by supporting the Dimmick Center, which provides innovative, comprehensive, holistic health to thousands of families. We thank H.B. Hood, who helps make the Dimmick Center a beneficiary of the Red Sox Foundation. We head to the 8th inning, 8-4, Boston on top of Kansas City. Jason Frazier into the game, his 58th appearance of the year, 4-1. With a 2.91 earned run average, 44 strikeouts, 17 walks, and opponents hitting at 244 against Frazier. Longtime Toronto Blue Jay. Second appearance of the series. Takes over for Lewis Coleman, who went an inning, giving up a hit and a run. Walked a batter, struck out a batter. Frazier, the 4th arm used today by Kansas City. One is Cespedes leading it off here in the 8th. jumps ahead 2-0.
New England sports fans having a good Sunday. Patriots with a big win. Red Sox here up 8-4 late. BC blasting USC. How about that?
That was a surprise last night.
Yeah, hung on.
Cespedes will be followed by Craig and Nava here in the inning. Rio pitch for Frazier. Cespedes takes all the way and takes ball 4 down to first base. Leadoff walk. Second straight inning that the Royals relievers walked the first batter to begin an inning.
Second time Cespedes walked in as many at bats.
That'll bring up Alan Craig. Craig has flied out to right twice and struck out swinging. Don't miss WB Mason extra innings live right after the game. The guys will break down Joe Kelly's start and have John Farrell's post-game comments. Can't go wrong when you buy right at WB Mason. Cespedes walking to begin the inning. Alan Craig. Count of 1-0. Into right field, a base hit for Craig as he takes it the other way. Cespedes up to second base, and the first two have reached here for the Red Sox in the 8th.
Alan Craig looking like he's kind of going back to basics. Got a base hit to right field in last night's ball game in a pinch hitting role, and then just kind of fighting this one off into right field. Everybody says when you're going poorly, like Craig has been, try to keep the ball in the middle of the field or go the other way. Stay on it a little bit longer.
Daniel Nava hitting a grand slam in the 6th inning off Aaron Crow. With the Red Sox at the time a 7-4 lead, they've added a run and lead it 8-4. Nava his 4th home run of the year.
Funny how the game and the feel of that game takes on different tempos depending on who's pitching. When Kelly and Vargas were in the game, they got the ball, they threw it, things were moving along pretty quickly. Obviously the Royals got in a little bit of trouble here. They've used a couple different pitchers out of the pen, but things have slowed down quite a bit. I mean, how much time do you just standing around out there wiping your hands off before you throw the next pitch?
Salvador Perez trying to get him going.
Yeah. If you're scared, get a dog.
Two 2-0 pitch. Nava grounds it towards the shortstop. Escobar will touch second and throw to first. The throw is off the mark and safe at first base is Nava. Escobar kind of nonchalanting that to first base and pulls his first baseman off the bag.
Yeah, because of the alignment there, this was just a made-to-order double play. Escobar right there. He could take it himself. He's going to clear himself of Craig, and then he just didn't finish it off. Yep. Well, Hosmer off that bag. He couldn't stay on it. You know, that's a big man down there. It's a bad throw if you're pulling him off the base.
So first and third, one down. Will Middlebrook's coming up. Will 0 for 3 today. He struck out twice and flied out to center field.
You and I don't see a lot of Escobar, and when we got here, they were singing his praises as a potential Gold Glove Award winner this year. We certainly haven't seen that.
Cespedes at third base, Knob at first base. While it should have been a double play, you cannot assume a double play, so no error handed out on that play.
It's a rule change I would be in favor of.
Think you should have an error right now?
Yeah, why can't you assume a double play?
It's in the rule book.
Couldn't have been an easier play for him.
True.
He already got the first out.
It's a third base, picked by Moustakas, coming home with it against Cespedes. Headed back towards third. They'll apply the tag for the out there. Runners will be at first and second with 2 down. So going on contact there with Cespedes, and they run him down.
Saw the same play earlier in this series where the Red Sox will force the Royals to take that out at home instead of potentially turning a double play. It's that decision that Moustakas has to make. If the ball's hit slowly in front of him, you come home with it.
Two on, 2 down in the inning, and David Ross, the batter. Ross has been on twice, walking twice in the game. He's also struck out. Casey Coleman now warming in the pen. Royals have used Crow, Lewis Coleman, and Jason Frazier in relief of Jason Vargas, starter who's on the hook right now at 5 1/3. Vargas coming in at 11 and 8 individually. 1-0 pitch coming to David Ross. That'll straighten him up. 2-0. Salvador Perez doing a lot of talking behind the dish there, trying to cheer his pitcher on.
We've been hearing a lot of that today too. It's kind of cool. You hear the conversations when Ross was up there like, yo, I'm hitting a $188. That can't be a strike. That was early in the game. That was fun to hear.
Popped up, foul ground off to the right, out of play. Alltown, New England's premier convenience retailer, is committed to supporting the communities they serve. For every home run the Red Sox hit the rest of the year, Alltown will donate $500 to the Boston Children's Hospital. Visit alltown.com for an Alltown location near you. First and second, 2 down, 2-1. It's outside, 3-1. Ross has been very patient at the plate today. Jackie Bradley Jr. waiting on deck. Ross fouls it back, full count. 93 on the fastball from Jason Frazier. Up at second base, Middlebrooks at first base, 2 down here in the top half of the 8th inning. Red Sox on top 8-4. Foul tipped into the catcher's mitt for strike 3. Ends the inning. Red Sox don't score, but take an 8-4 lead to the bottom of the 8th. Red Sox now offers walk-in urgent care in Chestnut Hill. It's open 10 hours a day for minor emergencies. For more information, go to bidmc.org/Chestnut Hill. Number Badenhop into the game. 8-4. Red Sox with the lead. Got the final out of the 7th inning. Starts the 8th. And deals with Aoki, Kane, and Gordon here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Aoki, who's had a good series, quiet today. 0 for 3 in the game. Chops it off the plate out towards second base. Mookie Betts throws out Aoki for the first out of the 8th inning. Well, we've covered our Sox culture today. How about Gary Stritzky? Hardball, his favorite movie. Chipotle, his favorite food. Wow. T.I. And he wants to go to Hawaii, too.
The Hawaii thing is just because you said you wanted to go to Hawaii, so I figured I could probably just tag along with you, because you generally get like the nice condo on the beach. So I'm kind of inviting myself in regards to that one. Well, I like Korea too. It's always nice to get back to the homeland. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you do go with them, you have to bring the Chipotle.
I will bring the Chipotle, and that's my my favorite food, because it really knocks out all the food groups, which I believe is just protein and hot sauce. I like my mom's Korean food, but that's not readily available in my apartment in Brighton, so got to go with the second choice.
And T.I., tell us a little bit about T.I. What is it you like about T.I.?
I think I just like his rapping, really. I mean, a lot of the players like T.I., but see, I've liked T.I. since I was in high school. I actually was on a flight with T.I. from Denver to Atlanta once. And
why don't you sample some of that? Can you do a little T.I. for us?
I mean, I could, but this is family program, and there's parental advisory warnings on his music, so, you know, we want to stay away from that. But you know, T.I. was he was in first class, and I was too scared to go say what's up to him because he had his posse with him. And I didn't know if they would think that I was, trying to start something.
Were they in first class too?
They were in first class.
Lorenzo Cain with a base hit into center field. That is the first hit for the Kansas City Royals in this game since the second inning. Red Sox pitching doing a great job to quiet them, but Cain with a one-out single here in the 8th.
I was sure Strzelecki was going to go with Elton John, not T.I.
I didn't see that at all, no.
Big fan of Elton John, but doesn't really get you in the mood to go work out and stuff like that.
Burke Badenhop coming out of the game. Craig Breslow coming in. It's 8-4 Red Sox. By Captain Morgan, most outfield assists in the major leagues, and Cespedes between his time in Oakland and Boston with 15. Jackie Bradley Jr. spending a couple of weeks down in Pawtucket, but still with 13. Melky Cabrera, the Blue Jays, done for the season with 13 on the year. Michael Brantley and Nick Markakis in the top 5. 1 out, 1 on here in the 8th. Red Sox bring in Craig Breslow to face Alex Gordon. First a toss to first, and Lorenzo Cain back to the bag.
Bradley hasn't gotten one for a while for a couple reasons. As you mentioned, he spent some time down in AAA. And number 2, the word's out. He'll throw you out. Don't try it.
Gordon hits it hard and fair by the dive of Craig at first base down the right field line. Lorenzo Cain heading for third to be stopped there. It is a double for Alex Gordon. And now it's second and third with 1 out for Kansas City. And John Farrell's going to be out to argue here in this fair or foul call by the first base umpire, Brian Knight.
Doesn't look a whole lot like John Farrell's out there waiting for his video guy to give him some information. He's pretty adamant about what he thinks is going on that play. Oh, that ball hit chalk about 7 feet in front of the base. And technically that would be the home plate umpire's call. Until the ball reaches first base, it's the home plate umpire's call. After it passes the bag, it becomes the first base umpire's call. So that's what I think these guys are discussing. Where it was and whose call is it. That's where it hit. This is going to be a tough one.
Phil and Culbreth doing the bulk of the talking here, the home plate umpire. He's also the crew chief.
I didn't notice whether or not he made a call. Saw the first base umpire make a call, but he didn't.
They're saying it's a double. They're sticking with it, saying it's a fair ball. Farrell still doesn't think so.
See where it hits on the chalk? It's just leaving that chalk line. I would think that in that 7 or so feet, it would be hard to stay fair. If it's already hooking foul and it hits on the foul line, that next 7 feet seems to me would have kicked it to the foul side of the base.
Gives the Royals an opportunity here. Second and third with 1 out, and Salvador Perez 1 for 3, singled and scored in the second. Fly to right, grounded out to third. Sense. Popped up foul off to the right, out of play.
I believe that's an instance where it's not a reviewable play, so you just have the argument. You just go out, hey, well, I think you guys got that wrong. Why don't you get together? And they did. And all 4 of them decided they got it right.
In the dirt, blocked by Ross. Keeps it in front of him. It started with the Okie grounding out to second base. Lorenzo Cain with a single. Baden Hop departs. Breslow comes in. Gordon with a double down the line. Second and third, 1 out. Two balls, 2 strikes. Action in the pen for Boston. Tazawa's up. First appearance in the series for Craig Breslow. Worked 2 innings against Baltimore 5 days ago. Allowed a 2-run home run to Caleb Joseph in the 5th inning of that game. Outside for ball 3. First base open. Hosmer on deck.
John Farrell giving Breslow the opportunity to face the right-handed hitting Perez in this situation to possibly get to Hosmer next.
Popped up left side of the infield. Xander Bogaerts waiting for it to come down, and he'll put it away. It's a big out. 2 down. So 2 away, and Hosmer coming up. The 3-run home run back in the second inning of Joe Kelly. A bad inning Kelly had. He gave up 4 runs in that second inning, but was very good the rest of his outing. Which a record right now for the Red Sox. 6 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs in his effort. Hosmer's been on base 3 times today to go along with that 3-run home run, 2 walks. And he's 2 for 5 in his career against Breslow.
Sometimes TV's a little deceiving. Hosmer's a big guy. Go down and stand next to him. He towers over everybody. You see how far he stands off of the plate. But he's got such great plate coverage because his arms are so long.
There's a strike. 2-1. Sit at 6'4", 220.
Plays bigger than that.
A little bit low, 3-1. Royals trying to come from behind today.
Now John Farrell brought Breslow in to get the left-handed hitters. Gordon doubled. Then he gets the right-hander Perez out. And now he's in a pretty good hitter's count to Hosmer here.
Hosmer fouls it off himself painfully, and it's a full count.
Ouch. That got him in the high ankle. At first I didn't realize those were masks. I thought that was some pretty sweet paint going on in it.
3-2 pitch. And it is to second baseman Mookie Betts, who's in the right spot out there. Ducked out into short right field. Makes the grab. The Royals strand a pair. By the new Scion TC, Southwest Airlines, and by Nissan, innovation that excites. 8-4, the Red Sox have the lead over the Kansas City Royals. We head to the 9th inning. Back at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. New pitcher on for the Royals. Casey Coleman into the game. His 7th appearance without a record at 3.12 earned run average. 4 walks, 4 Ks, and opponents hitting at .294 against Coleman. Pitch up high, 2-0. Casey Coleman stranded 3 inherited runners in the 3rd inning on Thursday night, producing an inning-ending double play from Jackie Bradley Jr. And now he faces him here again to begin things in the 9th inning. And there for a strike, 2-1. Casey Coleman beginning this year in the Cubs organization. Play Omaha 5-1, the 2.15 earned run average. Opens the count now at 2-2. Bradley thought about it, but lays off the pitch in the dirt. Alex Wilson and Edward Mujica warming in the pen right now. Red Sox have already used Tommy Lane, Burke Badenhop, and Craig Breslow today in relief of Joe Kelly. 3-2 pitch fouled off to the left, out of play.
JBJ singled in his last at bat. That broke a string of 0 for 17.
Fly ball the other way. That has Alex Gordon going back. It'll take him almost to the warning track as he makes the catch out there for the first out of the 9th inning. A Wednesday on Bruins Summer Face-Off Live, Billy Jaffe and Andy Brickley break down the Montreal Canadiens. Hear from current players and alumni at the Bruins annual golf tournament, plus a full preview of training camp. Catch all that and more on Bruins Face-Off Live Wednesday at 5. One out here in the 9th inning. It brings up Mookie Betts. That struck out in the first, singled in the third, singled in the 6th, and rounded into a fielder's choice in the 7th inning. Attendance today 19,065, 19,065 here today. Not the largest crowd of the series. We had the largest crowd of the series here last night. Late defensive swing by Betts, who fouls it off. Red Sox heading to Pittsburgh after the ball game today to begin a 3-game series on Tuesday night.
What are you going to do on your off day?
That's a great question. I have no plans. There's the off day tomorrow, and then it's 3 in Pittsburgh, 3 in Baltimore for the Red Sox return home. And Monday off at home, unusual. Then Tampa Bay for 3, New York for 3 to round out the 2014 campaign.
About the last day of the season against the Yankees, last day of Jeter's career. Might be a little crazy at the Yard.
That'll be special. Very much looking forward to that.
Red Sox do an amazing job with those type of events and sends off, so you gotta expect something pretty big for Jeter, I would think.
Much like Mariano Rivera.
Probably better. Think? Yeah. Jeter's been pretty good.
Yeah, he's been okay.
I mean,
you can make an argument the greatest Yankee of all time for some people.
Took me a long time to come around too, because when you looked at his overall numbers, he wasn't one of those guys that dazzled you. I think he only had over 100 RBIs once, twice maybe in his career, that kind of stuff. But he's a leadoff guy. He hit at the top of the order, kept his name out of the papers, won millions of championships. I mean, the guy did everything you could possibly do.
Only Yankee ever to have 3,000 hits.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Think about all the great hitters they've had.
The only one. Leader.
Outside for ball 3, full count.
Early in my broadcast career, he was not the most intimidating interviewer. I don't use the word intimidating very often. Not a big deal. But he looks at you when he answers your questions.
Found that intimidating?
Yeah, it was,
Used to guys looking away.
And yeah, they look away, they look down, they look somewhere else. You're looking at them, but, he's my size. He's looking right at me, and he's intense. He has the answers you're looking for when you ask him the question, and he's emphatic about it.
A bounce in for ball 4. Mookie Betts, and a good at bat, heads down to first base. One out here in the 9th inning.
Well, I'll admit it. I won't be working that day.
You're off.
I'm going to the yard,
Yep.
and I'm going to go take a selfie with him. Sorry, I'm gonna.
1-on-1 on Xander Bogaerts coming up.
It's probably something that, I wouldn't mind having.
Bogaerts flied to the left in the first inning. Homered in the third, a 3-run shot, and singled in the 6th inning. Had a sac fly in the 7th. 2 hits, 4 RBIs today. And check on Betts at first base, diving back to the bag safely.
And I think Red Sox fans will treat him with the respect he deserves. That's one of the greatest things about being back in Boston, is just the knowledge of the fans there and the way they respect the game. And obviously the hated Yankees, and they hated the fact that Jeter did them in more times than he didn't. And they'll stand up and cheer for him.
Vasquez waiting on deck. He had pinch hit for David Ortiz in the 7th inning, and still in that DH spot as Bogaerts backs out. Broken bat, pop up into shallow center. It's falling fast and in for a hit. Heading for third is Betts. He read that, but throw will not be in time. He gets in safely. A good read on the base pass there for Mookie Betts as he takes third on a little bloop to center field.
Great read by Mookie Betts. This play's in front of him, so he can see it. He recognizes right away that this is going to drop, but not too many guys keep going. And I don't think Dyson thought he was going to keep going. He throws off the wrong foot, doesn't make a good throw. Right away. One little hesitation there when the ball went off the bat. You got to hesitate a little bit. Then as soon as you recognize, he just kept going. That's excellent.
And another base hit for Xander Bogaerts, his 3rd hit of the day, 4 RBIs. First and third with 1 out. And this pitch is fouled off.
I believe he was listed as the key player today, too.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Usually goes the other way for us as far as the open goes. Once we highlight a guy in the open, he's doomed.
Yeah. That was good producing right there.
Yeah. Casey Coleman in some trouble here in the 9th inning. Red Sox trying to add on to a 4-run advantage. Swinging a foul tip, 0-2. And Vasquez up on his sign.
Yeah. Spelled wrong.
1-2 pitches outside. 2-2.
Vasquez. He's not as happy about holding that sign right up as he was in the 2nd inning.
On the ground, diving at first is Hosmer. He'll go to second for 1. Return throw to first is in time. Double play. Nicely turned by Kansas City to end the top of the 9th inning. Go to the bottom of the 9th. 8-4 Boston. Royals as we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. And Edward Mujica now on for the Red Sox, trying to finish it off here in a non-save situation. His 62nd appearance, 2-4 with a 4.11 earned run average. 40 strikeouts, 13 walks, and opponents hitting at .291 against him. Long periods of time where Mujica had a hard time getting into games. Now he's appeared in quite a few here in the last week or two.
Well, he was the forgotten man down there in the bullpen for a long while when he was just so ineffective. When he got a little bit more velocity back on that fastball and used his changeup a little more sparingly. Started becoming the pitcher that he had been in the past, and thank goodness, too.
Omar Infante leading it off here for Kansas City. Infante, Moustakas, and Dyson scheduled to bat in the inning. That was a pretty big double play turn there by Kansas City to end last inning. Well done.
Really nice play. Signs of the former defense this club used to play. They have not played very well defensively in this series.
To center field, and that's going to get in for a base hit. Leadoff single for Omar Infante to get the bottom of the 9th inning started.
Tried to go outer half there, but that ball stayed up a little bit.
Lead runner on here for the Royals. And it brings up Mike Moustakas. Single to right in the 2nd inning. Fouled out to Alan Craig at first base in the 4th, then walked in the 7th inning. Red Sox shifting on the right side. Swing and a miss for strike 1. 8 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Red Sox. 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors for Kansas City. Chopped right side. Mookie Betts going to go to second base for 1, and a throw by Bogaerts. Probably should have held on to it as Moustakas was going to beat it out anyway. Took a look and threw low, but they do get a lead runner in Infante for the first out of the inning.
I don't know if Bogey maybe mishandled this, but you see him on that side of second base. It's an awkward angle for him. Watch. For me, every once in a while, he gets a little loose with that transfer from glove to hand. And sometimes he's having a little trouble getting that grip. We've talked about it a lot. Infielders don't reach into their glove and grab the ball. They flip it to their offhand. And, you know, you can get a little lazy with it sometimes and not get a good grip on the ball. Let's see if that's what happens to him. He just didn't really have a great handle on that ball when he went to throw it.
Rod Dyson 0 for 3 in the game. That's with 1 out. Mike Moustakas at first base. Royals batting here in the bottom of the 9th. There's a strike, 2-1. Middlebrooks in on the grass at third base. He has been anytime Dyson has come up in this game. Fouled back, and it is now 2-2. Royals staying home to take on the White Sox. They'll have James Shields on the mound tomorrow night against Chicago. While the Red Sox are off tomorrow, open up a 3-game series Tuesday in Pittsburgh. Full count. James Shields. His team leading 32nd start of the year tomorrow night. 14-7. Fly ball center field. Jackie Bradley Jr. going back to make the catch for the second out of the 9th inning. Stockus back to the bag at first. Here comes Alcides Escobar with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Escobar takes strike 1. 0 for 4. He's grounded out 4 times to the left side of the infield, 3 times to short, once to third base. Down 0-2.
This is not the weekend series these Kansas City Royals were hoping to have against the Red Sox coming into town.
Red Sox an out away from taking 3 out of 4 from Kansas City. Fouled off to the right, still 0-2. It's a piece again. Joe Kelly today went 6 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs. They all came in the second inning, and at one time Kansas City had a 4-0 advantage in this game. The Red Sox scoring 8 times. 3 times in the third. The 3-run home run by Bogarts, grand slam by Nava in the 6th inning. They had a run in the 7th and lead it 8-4. This one fouled off. Save situation for Mejica, but he did get a save here on Friday night. And a perfect 9th inning. Outside for ball 1. Now appeared in 62 games, been up over 60 each of the last 4 years now. Of course, last year 37 saves with the St. Louis Cardinals. Escobar through the right side into right field, a base hit. Up to second base goes Moustakas, and Kansas City staying alive here. Runners at first and second, 2 down.
It's just good hitting. Late in the game and you need base runners, just stay on the ball, go with it.
Sox have more action in their pen. Drake Britton up in the pen. With 2 outs and 2 on. Nori Aoki, the batter, does not have a hit today. 0 for 4. Grounded out to short. Second base. Lined out to short. Grounded out to second. As he takes ball 1. High, 2-0. Royals a base runner away from bringing the tying run to the plate here in the 9th inning.
Slam range.
Lorenzo Cain waiting on deck. There's a strike call, 3-1.
Aoki trying to coax that into being a ball.
Strike 2.
You get them all squatting down, trying to make themselves small. If you want to be small, then you can't really complain about a low strike, can you?
3-2 pitch. Fouled off to the left out of play. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Moustakas at second base, Escobar at first. Fouled off again.
Is that the patented Aoki check swing?
Could be.
Yeah.
Ground ball foul again. Hanging tough here against Mujica.
Mujica couldn't throw a strike to begin this at bat. And now he's just pouring them in there. And Aoki fouling him off.
Two outs in the 9th inning. 3-2 pitch. Down and in, ball 4, and they will bring the tying run to the plate. How about that? Aoki with plenty at bat right there.
Kind of the situation we talked about before, too, with Mujica coming into a ball game. Not a safe situation with not the same juices flowing. That ball inside.
Lorenzo Cain coming to bat here, representing the tying run at the plate. Moustakas at third, Escobar at second, Aoki at first, and Cain today 1 for 4. He singled to center field in the 8th inning. This will get away, but not trying it from third base is Moustakas. His run does not mean a thing.
That's a smart play right there. Nowhere to go. If he scores, he's got to be able to walk home. Cain has 4 home runs.
Moustakas, Escobar, Aoki. Strike ball, generous. 1-1. Career .231 hitter with the bases loaded, has 1 career grand slam. Bases filled with Royals here in the 9th inning. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Good pitch right there. Outer half going with the breaking ball. It'll probably stick with that pitch. What's left of the crowd is into it now. Everybody on their feet.
Strike 3 call, and the Red Sox win. Picks up the outside corner, and the Red Sox hold on to win this game today. Mujica makes it a little interesting in the bottom of the 9th inning, but in the end, the Red Sox take 3 out of 4 from the Kansas City Royals. We'll be back with more right after this.